intervened on behalf of...
And today, we got none other than Brian McKnight. Yes, the Brian McKnight, Mr. Have I ever crossed your mind anytime? Like, the Brian McKnight. Like, my mother would be disappointed in today's segment, I promise you. But yeah, man, this is why you do not want to meet your idols. This is why you don't want to put false hopes into these idols. We've been hearing it forever, and these are the reasons why. Today, we got Brian McKnight. Is being exposed by, I believe, his oldest son, for pretty much disowning and not speaking to all of his children, but primarily his child that had cancer, and I believe passed away from cancer maybe a couple of months ago. And I've been hearing about his disconnection with his kids and stuff like that, maybe for like the last couple of years or so. But I think it's kind of coming to a head right now with this new podcast by Mark Lamont Hill. Great job, brother. You did your thing, man. Let's check it out.
You tell me your version of what happened, or you. I know this is painful, and so I don't want to.
You know, I love you, Johnny boy. Number one. Mm-hmm. This is the thing, man. And again, this is the last time I'm speaking about this, about any of this with anybody. My dad knew from the jump. I got the DMs. You feel me?
When you say the jump, he found out as soon as y'all found out?
I found out, he knew.
Okay.
I begged my dad to talk to my brother for 2 years. He got diagnosed 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. You feel me? The lies, man. The unnecessary lies. Even if let's go about it a different way. Even if that's true. Even if you got the information late, even if everything he said about us was true, you had the power, right, to step in, take control.
He said he tried, and that his wife intervened as well and said, "Hey, you can not even say it's from us. Like, we just want to help."
Why would I beg my dad to help? Not even to help. I didn't beg my dad to help. I begged him to talk to my brother. Why would I do that if we weren't willing to make that connection, if we weren't willing to allow that to be the case, if it wasn't up until it was absolutely apparent that the type of help that would have come, like my mom said, would have come with certain stipulations. He would have had to do this. He would have had to do that.
No, is that what he did?
We would have been able to be involved. You know what I mean? The attempt to turn my brother against us in his last days is the most outrageous thing. And that's where you asked me earlier when I didn't finish, that's where it ended for me with my dad.
Absolutely.
Through all of this, I've always been willing. The olive branches have been extended. I have always tried to make amends with my dad, publicly even. I have stated multiple times I'm willing to do that. I have taken my accountability for my post, because that's where this started. The guilt on my shoulders for all of this, for that even, we don't get here without that. But it's like, he had ample opportunity to show up and be my brother's dad. Forget your help. He did 5 shows in California when my brother laid in the hospital.
Yes.
What do we have to do with you coming and paying respects to your son on his deathbed?
When you asked him, did you ask him to do it?
I get no responses.
Okay.
I'm texting and DMing to deaf ears.
Imagine even having to ask, let alone beg your father to even help his dying child. I'm sorry, Brian, but it's a special place in hell for people like this. I'm sorry, like, father or not, it's just everybody ain't family,
as far as we know. But there was never a time through any of this until all of this started happening. And even still, all I asked him to do was talk to my brother.
Right.
Talk to him. He's begging for you, dog. He's begging for you to talk to him. And I'm gonna take this one so my mom doesn't have to, because we discussed this whole thing. As far as even that, him airing out my mother's voicemail and all of that, in the midst of all this too, without any context of how we got there. It's just like, come on, bruv. One of the darkest and coldest and most disheartening memories of my life is the day my brother calls me sobbing with all that he's going through, looking death in the eye, to tell me I'm right about telling him not to call my father. Because I knew what was going to happen. Because I knew where my dad was. I told him, man, Dad is gone. Dad's gone. All my brother wanted and needed, asked for, was my father to tell him that he loves him. And my brother responds to him, or my father responds to my brother that I can't arbitrarily say that I love you.
Right.
But this is the man that wanted to help him. This is the man that was so willing to be there, that was so willing to help my brother stay alive.
I'm sorry, I have to ask that again because that.
No, you heard it right. I can't arbitrarily tell you I love you.
Now, Mark, I understand. I had to double take and rewind it a couple of times myself. Like, just having children of my own, I cannot imagine. Like, I can't imagine going about 30 minutes without telling my kids I love them. So, to tell my kid, like, you were not born out of love, you were born out of sex, and like, I cannot say that I honestly love you. Like, damn, that's crazy.
My brother's dying of cancer. This was the first time he was terminal. This was before his wife, Carla, saved his life.
Absolutely.
Cold calling doctors.
Yeah.
My brother was a Valley Presbyterian in Van Nuys, dying when this was happening. I had to walk from my apartment in Sherman Oaks. I had to walk to the hospital into that. Because I'm working, mister. I don't have a job. I don't work. I don't do nothing. So that's why I get hot. I told myself, I mean, this is passion.
Yes.
This is, you know, I've always looked at me and my brother and my father as kings. Lions. When we and my brother grew up as men and my father realized no more that he could look us in the eye and lie to us because our awareness and our intellectuality was too strong, that's where the divide starts. And even through this all, I've still been willing to embrace as men. But you got to be able to meet me where I'm at.
Your father said something that stuck with me. It was honestly the most enduring memory I have from the interview that he did. He said he believes that Nico's death was preventable and that you all martyred him.
Do you understand how unbelievable that is?
That when I heard that, there's no other way to explain that as a mom than diabolical.
So if you didn't understand, pretty much what Mark was trying to imply or reference was the fact that Brian McKnight essentially said that I guess the brother's death could have been preventable, but essentially they wanted the little brother to die pretty much so that they could like point towards Brian McKnight and call him a bad guy. So Brian McKnight is assuming that his ex-wife and his other children wanted their brother and their son to die just so that they could speak badly about Brian McKnight.
Anton, he did not have to die.
Why do you say that?
When we talked, and we did talk to him, we talked to his wife. We got to go back. So earlier that year, that May, he's on the Shade Room. He's saying things like, oh, now remember, they've lied on me, but they continue to double down and triple down on the rhetoric. If my dad needed this, I wouldn't do this for him. He's dead to me, blah, blah, blah. Now we come to find out that 3 days after that's when he got diagnosed. They waited because he didn't have insurance. They waited 4 months. According to all statistics, 91% of colon cancer diagnosis that are caught early are curable.
Right.
Because they didn't tell us. I had to find out from somebody else.
Right.
Then I heard from them.
So were you the last?
We were the last to find out.
Wow.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good old stuff. You know what I'm saying? We new to this, but we definitely true to this.
Ask my dad how many times he told us to go to the doctor. Ask my father how often he cared about any of those types of things. It was preventable, right? What did you do to help?
He says y'all didn't have health care. He didn't say why, but he said you all didn't have health care. Basically, what I heard from it, I don't want to put words in his mouth, was almost that y'all were irresponsible, that you didn't have health coverage, and so you didn't go to the doctor, and that's why.
See, those for me are the petty comments
it's just unnecessary.
that at this point, it absolutely belittles the amount of work that my daughter did.
Oh my God.
Once the diagnosis was made. Young, healthy. I can't speak for what my son and his wife as adults were going through in their household and how they were running their affairs. Responsible people, them having the type of health care needed or not to adequately care for someone at stage 4 cancer is totally different than they didn't have any.
Right.
So all of the work that was done and all of the family and the reaching out that got him to the point, you can't just toss out that he was that sick. Nico had multiple things that started to happen with him as a result of being stage 4 at his diagnosis. And
needing immediate care.
And needed
immediate emergency
care.
surgeries.
Surgery after my
it hurts.
After to hear.
He gets a call from his dad that he's been waiting for.
Yes.
And his dad says what?
And we were all, his wife and I, even we were all like, okay, his wife, we were like, okay, thank God, this is going to bring him some peace. He wasn't on the phone more than 5 minutes. The conversation isn't able to go any further because I need to be clear that I'm not happy about where you're treating my new family and the kids. And Nico says to him, this is what you want to talk about with me right now. Now it's on speaker, so this is not a point where at any moment someone can say this is what I heard from someone else. I'm in the room. I'm there with my son, with his wife, holding hands, and will never, if you want to think of a day where something is cut, is the day that I have to watch my son with everything that he's already dealing with. And the only thing that you want is for this person they went through it. Nico's vitals started escalating. Heart started going. Everything started happening. As his mom, I'm looking at his wife like, we're going to have to cut this conversation. It's not healthy for him. He wanted to stay on. He started to go into a conversation it didn't need to go into. So Nico realized I need to end it. I'm going to say I love you to my father, and I have to say it 4 times, and then have that be the response. I told the way he cried, I wanted to rip everybody's throat out I could get a hold of. I wanted to tear the hospital down.
Now, I know there's 2 sides to every story, so of course we'll be waiting to hear what Brian McKnight has to say in response to being exposed by his original family, I guess you could say. So let me know down below, like, what do y'all think? Is Brian McKnight just like an evil human being, or are we missing something? I don't know. We should find out. What do y'all think?